Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie, I had to move my truck in between reviews. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, 50 episodes later, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my Son Goku shirt I picked up earlier this year. If you don't know, I don't know how you couldn't, but who knows? Maybe you're watching this video in the year like 5492 after all of the Trogs took over. Damnable Trogs. Son Goku is the main character of the Dragon Ball franchise, starting back all the way in the 80s with the original Dragon Ball, eventually moving into, the Dragon Ball Z series where it really picked up momentum, became a global phenomenon, moving into GT where many do not see that as being a high point for the franchise, and then eventually, sort of rebounding into Super, which I personally do not see as a high point. I think it's a bit trash. If I'm honest, I'm throwing a little shade, but still definitely a fan of the franchise. A casual fan, but enough so that, especially when Akira Toriyama, the creator, passed away, it felt appropriate, just get something kind of represent, the love that I still have for it. So, but anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why did I have to move my truck? Well, I went over there and I hopped on out to, Jimmy John's for some sandwiches. I just got through reviewing their Blaz sub sandwich, which is a hidden menu item. And I decided to get a second sandwich, just one straight off their normal menu. And in between doing my reviews, a bunch of people started making their way around, despite the fact that I was in a little offshoot area, and they had clipboards and shit. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm not fucking with clipboard people, so I got the fuck out of there. I think they were just showing people around the property, but I was like, da. But anyway, this is a sub sandwich review. What with it being a sub sandwich review, I do have to preface it with three things real quick. That's how three works. Number one is that for over 2 years now, I've been going on sub sandwich adventures. What that means is I've been going over there, basically every place available that sells sub sandwiches, whether chain locations, delis, what have you. I've been going over there trying out sub sandwiches. I've been reviewing them, and I've been posting those reviews to YouTube. Because I'm such a nice guy, I don't just post them to YouTube, and there's where number two comes into play. I actually have an entire playlist called Subs for Subs, which is a playlist of just my sub sandwich reviews. At the time I'm doing this, folks, there was a mosquito, I killed it. At the time I'm doing this, folks, I have over 100 sub sandwich reviews posted in my Subs for Subs playlist, and that's not bad, but, and this is where number three comes into play, maybe that's not a good enough number for you. Maybe you want even more sub sandwich review and goodness. That's fine, folks. All you have to do is wait until Sunday. Why? Because Sunday is SUBday. That's a kitschy little thing that I came up with. Every Sunday is when I go over there and I upload my sub sandwich reviews. Typically, you're going to get a couple, sometimes one, sometimes four. It depends. But you're always going to get at least one. With that said, what sub am I reviewing for you today, folks? Well, like I said, it is from Jimmy John's. This is off their normal menu. This is their Beach Club sub, which consists of turkey, double provolone, avocado spread, and cucumber. Sure. That sounds pretty tasty, I guess. Where do I open you? There we go. Yeah. And I mean, I've reviewed stuff from Jimmy John's before, a little bit here or there with them, but, I will say this. This is a hefty sub from Jimmy John's. Go Jimmy John's. Look at this thing. Look at that. That's like all the turkey in the world. Okay. Jimmy John's, you're impressing me. I appreciate it. Can we get a thing for your thing? Kind of, maybe like that. All right, let's give it a go, Jimmy John's. Let's see if you can deliver on the flavor. Oh. Flavor's a little bit so-so. It's not bad. It's definitely nothing to write home about. I mean, right off the bat, I didn't even really mention this in my previous review, but the bread from Jimmy John's is very kind of here or there. One thing I've learned from doing these sub sandwich reviews, good sub bread makes a great sub. You know, it really does go over there. Jimmy John's bread isn't bad, but it always feels very, like, off a conveyor belt. You know, it's all very uniform. There's nothing really special about it. There's nothing bad about it, but it's very neutral, you know. It's not bad tasting, but it doesn't really lend itself to a great sub sandwich experience. It's kind of just, you know, good. And that's fine. Yeah, flavor-wise, the most flavor I'm getting is from the avocado spread. Which is nice. It's, you know, got a nice sort of earthy kind of butteriness to it. It's not bad for what it is. Yeah. I wish, though, that I was getting more from the turkey, more from the provolone. And the thing is, I mean, turkey isn't like a real strong flavored meat. And provolone is good. But again, it's not like a super strong flavor. And I kind of feel like those two flavors are sort of blending together. A little bit of just the turkey by itself. Yeah, see, like, even though you're getting a decent amount of turkey, the turkey is very meh. You know, it's there, it's doing its thing, but it's not impressive turkey. Okay. Finally got some cucumber. The cucumber's nice. It kind of livens it up a little bit. Gives it some added freshness. I'm liking that. I know cucumber is kind of a love it or hate it thing. One of my best friends, like, if shit has even been anywhere near a cucumber, he won't deal with it. Nothing allergy related, he will not. Cucumber is definitely key to this, in my opinion. Without that, it's a very bleh, ironically, in comparison to my other review that I just did. It's a very kind of mess up, you know. But the cucumber with the avocado helps freshen it up, gives it a little bit of personality. And I think it kind of, especially the cucumber, helps break up the flavor a little bit, so that kind of allows the turkey flavor to come out, be a little bit more pronounced. Even the tomato, you know, this is definitely ones where I feel like the veg is making the sandwich more than the proteins. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. Yeah. Okay, well, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Probably no and kinda, I guess, but caveats. Here's the thing. I actually like the idea of this sub, but this is one of those instances where I feel like Jimmy John's kind of lets themselves down a little bit. Because, I don't, you know, my opinion of Jimmy John's has improved through doing these reviews over the years now. Because I've tried a bunch of stuff their menu. I used to really just equate them as being basically about as bad as Subway. I would say that that's not the case anymore. I would say, you know, I definitely feel like they're a solid level above Subway in terms of what they're doing. But being a level above Subway kind of speaks for itself, you know, because they're not in the same field as like your Jersey Mike's, your Penn Station subs, and certainly not in, you know, the realm of like actual delis. And that's the thing. I like the idea of this sandwich, but I think this would be better in like a deli setting, or at the very least like a higher up on the scale chain. I think that for Jimmy John's, because like I think overall I like the sub for what it's doing, but I'm missing the quality. You know, I'm missing the quality of the turkey. You know, I'd like more flavor from the provolone. The fact that, again, the veg really has to carry this one, I feel like that kind of lets it down a little bit, you know? But this concept put into, you know, the right hands, I think would be really good. As is, it's okay. But I don't think I would get it again. It's just, you know, there's other subs from them that I like more. I don't really need to revisit this one. But again, not a bad concept. And that's why if I'm recommending it, I'm kinda. You know, I don't think it's a bad sub. It's maybe a little bit lighter sub, I guess, in terms of, you know, maybe some of their heavier stuff. If you do want a sub that's maybe a little bit more neutral in flavor, you know, not everybody wants, you know, salty and savory and stuff like that. Again, it has its virtues. And if you're a fan of cucumber, definitely get in on it, because you do get a nice cucumber flavor from it. So, yeah, it's not one I can give like a huge endorsement to, but I'm definitely not going to tell people to shy away from it if they want to try it. I do, however, think there's better subs on their menu than this one. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there yourselves. And truly, cucumbers are awesome, tastic rest of your life. I like cucumbers. My hamsters like cucumbers, so it works out nicely. Oh, I got to get pet supplies. I forgot about that. Boom, one more thing. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your opinion on cucumber? Do you love it? Do you hate it? You know, or is it just not your deal? I've always liked cucumber, man. I always, like, as a kid, I always thought cucumbers were great. And as I got older, I just continued, you know, like, it's not something I eat on the regular or anything, but I typically, if it's in a salad, you know, it's a highlight point for the salad for me. And it was one of those things, like, when my one friend did go over there and tell me, like, how much he really despised it, I was baffled. I was like, it's cucumber. It's so chill, but, you know, different strokes for different folks. But I'd like to hear your opinion. Anyway,